Okay, hello and good day everyone. No? So today we will discuss about the standard deviation of group data. Okay, standard deviation of group data. Now for group data, the sample standard deviation, no, this is not a variance, is is given by S is equal to the square root of the summation of frequency or F times the square deviation all over by n minus 1. And then for example, population standard deviation naman, ito naman yung formula natin. Okay? So this, same lang naman sila, pinagkaiba dito lang sa n natin, no? Then now, compute for the standard deviation. Okay? Here no is an example of a group data wherein wala tayong classes na naka-indicate, no? So mga values lang. So here no, get first the product of frequency and its value and the given values here. 12 times 7 is 84, 3 times 9 is 27, 8 times 6 is 48, 1 times 18 is 18, 2 times 10 is 20. And then get the mean. Yung mean natin dito is 9.4. Wait, let me check. Okay. So hindi nakakalagay dito yung mean. So pag inad natin lahat yung f of x, yung fx natin dito, no? Then divide it by 21, then we have 9.4. Then yung 9.4 na mean, isa-subtract natin to each of these values. So 12 minus 9.4 is equal to 2.6. 9 minus 9.4 is equal to negative 0.4. 6 minus 9.4 is negative 3.4. 18 minus 9.4 is equal to 8.6. Then 10 minus 9.4 is 0.6. Then get the square. 2.6 squared is equal to 6.76. Negative 0.4 squared is 0.16. Negative 3.4 squared is 11.56. 8.6 squared is 73.96 and 0.6 squared is 0.36. So itong mga methods na to, no, ginawa na natin to doon sa variance. Okay? And then get the product of the squared deviation and the frequency. So 7 times 6.76, that would be equal to 47.32. Next, 3 times 0.16 is equal to 0.48. Next, 8 times 11.56 is equal to 92.48. Next is 1 times 73.96 is equal to 73.96. Then 2 times 0.36 is equal to 0.72. Okay? And then add natin lahat, no? So here, no, from the formula S equal to square root of summation of F times the square division over by n minus 1 is equal to square root of 47.32 plus 0.48 plus 92.48 plus 73.96 plus 0.72 all over by 21 minus 1 now is equal to the square root of 214.96 all over by 20. That would be equal to 10.748. Then get the square root, that would be equal to 3.3. So yung standard deviation natin is 3.3. Okay? Next, this time naman, no, compute for the standard deviation. This time naman, I already been computed for the class mark, the product of frequency and the class mark, the deviation, the square deviation, and the product of the frequency and square deviation. What we need to do na lang here is to add all of this, no? Okay? Kasi kadugtong lang naman to dun sa mga previous examples ko class eh. Okay? And since yung mean, deviation, variance, and standard deviation no, are all connected to each other. So, baga, continue na lang tayo sa example. Then now, add natin lahat, no? Then we have all in all, no, we have 648.96. Ito yung summation. All over by 24. Ito, sorry, 24. The total number of frequency minus 1 is equal to 23. Then divide natin, that would be equal to the square root of 28.2. Because 648.96 divided by 23 is 28.2. then get the square root, then your standard deviation is 5.3. So that's simple for the standard deviation. As long as you get the variance, get the square root of the variance, and then the answer is the standard deviation na. Now, let us have an exercise. Below is a frequency distribution of scores of 30 students in mathematics. Compute for the standard deviation. Okay? Now, again, we have the class mark, the product of the class mark, and then the frequency. This one is the deviation. Ito yung mean natin, ito yung deviation, ito yung square deviation, ito naman yung product of the frequency and the square deviation, and then the summation. So kung meron tayong summation using this formula, S is equal to the square root of the summation of frequency and square deviation all over by n minus 1. They substitute, we have 3,746.7 all over by your n is 30 minus 1 is 29. Divide natin, that would be equal to 129.2. Then get the square root, that would be equal to 11.4. Okay? So, yan ang magiging standard deviation natin. Next, below is the frequency distribution of the points contributed by player of the final four teams per player, no, of the final four teams in 2011-2012 NBA finals. Now, ito yung mga points, ito yung frequency, compute ko na lahat, no? The class mark, no, the product of the class mark and frequency, and this one is the mean, then the deviation, the square deviation, and then the frequency and the product of frequency and square deviation and the summation. We have 3,245.76. Using this formula, na substitute natin ito sa taas, and then your n is 60. So 60 minus 1 is 59. 3,245.76 divided by 59, that would be equal to 55.01. Get the square root, and that is equal to 7.4 for your standard deviation. Okay? So, ganun lang. Number 3, below is the frequency distribution of the scores of students that took a math test, computed for the standard deviation. So, this one is an example of group data without the classes. Okay? Again, na-compute ko na lahat. No? Ito yung mean natin. Ito yung fx. Ito yung deviation, square deviation, the product of frequency and square deviation. And then its summation, yung pinaka-plus yung sum netong nasa taas. No? We have 6,577.6. You know, substitute it to this formula. No? You have 6,577.6 all over by your n is 40. Minus 1 is 39. Then divide natin, 6,577.6 divided by 39, that would be equal to 168.7. Then get the square root, and that is equal to 12.99 for your standard deviation. Okay, that's it, no? So thank you for listening, and again, do not forget to answer your exercises. Okay, your quiz and assignment to be followed na. Okay, that's all. Goodbye and God bless.